Gotta take one for the team, is what they told me. Ain't gotta live someone else's dream, is what they told me. Even though things ain't what they seem, you still owe me. Am I the only one who still believes? The lies we only speak to stay calm, the hearts we only feel to stay warm. Wonder why nothing is for keeps. You gave all there was of me, and now I finally see I'm giving up on what you make of me, and I swear on it. And I swear on it. See, I don't give a fuck no more what you make of me. I'll be free. Do this and do that.
What's going on, guys? So 2 weeks ago on Instagram I did a poll asking if you guys want to see more vlogs in these videos or just keep it information like it has been the past 2-3 videos, and most of you guys chose vlogs. However, I realized that most of you guys that chose vlogs aren't equal to the amount of people that actually watch the vlogs. So I think these people kind of just voted just to vote, and so kind of compromise in the middle. I feel like I'll do vlogs on days that are special events. So let's say when my cousins came from Austria, or when my other cousins and I went to Waco, or anything big like that, I'll record. But on like the day-to-day basis, I'm not going to record it because I don't think it's interesting to record, nor is it interesting to share. And so that's kind of how I'll keep it. But let's get to the main part of the video, because that's really what you clicked on this video for. So alright, so we're going to be talking about cheat meals and repeat days. So this side we're going to talk about cheat meals, this side we're going to talk about repeat days. So for cheat meals, most likely your meal is going to be higher in carbs, higher in fats, and not as much protein. So what I recommend is for you to lower your carbs, lower your fats prior to actually having that cheat meal, so that way you can kind of control it and it's not going to hurt you as much. And so here's what I recommend. If you're going to have breakfast of your typical toast, peanut butter, egg whites, and berries, I would cut off the toast and the peanut butter and keep your protein and your berries, because berries are very low in carbs, and they also have vitamins. So I would recommend you keep those. For lunch, let's say you have chicken, sweet potatoes, veggies. Take out the sweet potatoes, keep the chicken and the veggies, because again, vitamins and minerals are in the veggies. Chicken is protein. For snacks, rice cake or Greek yogurt. Now both of these have carbs, however Greek yogurt has more protein, so I would cut out the rice cake. And in doing so, you make sure you're hitting your protein requirements, so that way when meal 4 comes, you can have the cheat meal, whatever you pretty much want to get. And so that way you're having the cheat meal, you're filling your cravings, but you're not overdoing it, so that way you're not hurting yourself. Now what I recommend when you get deeper into the cut is to do a refeed day. It's more controlled, and I personally like to take a bit more of a subtle approach to this. And so similar to like meal 1, and we'll still keep the toast 2 slices, which would have been the same as meal 1. So for peanut butter, instead of having 1 serving, I'll drop that down to maybe a half serving or 3/4 of a serving. Again, not so much, lowering your fats. I'll keep the egg whites, keep the berries. For chicken, I'll keep the same. Sweet potatoes, instead of 300 grams, I would bump that up to 400. Oh, for the berries, instead of just 100 grams, I'll bump that up to 200. For the rice cakes, instead of 1 piece, I'll have 2 pieces. And again, for meal 4, I would have 200 grams instead of 100 grams of berries. And avocados, I'm going to keep the same because I want to make sure I do have some fats in my diet. And so the reason why I'm doing this like this is because for cheat meals, the less is obviously the better, but if you can control it, that's the way to do it. And honestly, if you're eating out, I recommend asking for the sauces on the side, so that way it's not drenched in all the fat, and that way you can just dip into it when you need it and you're not like pouring everything over. If you're having cravings, this is where macros, like if it fits your macros, comes into play. So you have your macro numbers that you probably should have learned from episode 1, episode 2. Try to fit in those cravings as you go, so that way kind of work around it, and that way it's not hurting you and you're not having these big cravings to have to go and have like a cheat meal. For refeed days, I highly recommend you increase your carbs, because carbs equals more energy. And so when your body is getting more fueled with all this extra carbs, your metabolism gets the fuel to like kind of bring it up a bit. And I highly recommend you do these refeed days on days that you're most active, so that way you reduce the risk of storing those carbs as fat. And so let's say you do it on a leg day, you have a higher refeed day on the leg day, so instead of 300 carbs, you bump it up to maybe 400 carbs or whatever. That way you can lower the fat a little bit, so that way if you do have some carbs left over, it might kind of balance it out, and you might have a heavier weight tomorrow morning, just depending how good the refeed day did for your body. And you should only have the refeed day or cheat meal really when you feel like you've done everything you can, your weight's just not stopping, but your metabolism has dropped so low. Let's say you did it drastic, so you wanted to lose maybe 3 pounds a week, so it's kind of a lot to lose in like a short amount of time, so your metabolism is going to drop drastically. And so to kind of just fuel it up a little bit, just have it whenever you need it, have it in those moments. Other than that, I would recommend having it maybe every 10 to 14 days. But if you have any questions, if I forgot anything, please leave in the comment box below so I can answer them. And yeah, hopefully that explains it.